CCI, Crash Course Instrumentation, presents EP number 78, Bridge Circuits. Intro. What is a bridge circuit? In this episode of Crash Course Instrumentation, in the Electrical Fundamentals playlist, we are going to connect two simple circuits you already know and unlock one of the most powerful measurement tricks in electronics, the bridge circuit. Imagine you have two voltage dividers side by side. At first, life is simple. Each divider quietly splits the supply voltage into a smaller chunk. The moment you compare those two middle points with a meter, you get a brand new signal that mostly ignores the power supply and cares about ratios instead. That is the heart of a bridge circuit. It compares two voltage dividers. When they match, the bridge is balanced, and the output is near zero. When they do not match, the bridge becomes a very sensitive error detector. In this episode, we will review voltage dividers, build the idea of a bridge from two dividers, explain balanced versus unbalanced bridges, look at the classic Wheatstone bridge for measuring unknown resistance, and then see how the same idea powers modern sensor circuits. Along the way, we will nod to some 19th century scientists who helped turn resistance ratios into a serious measurement tool for telegraphs and laboratories. Step 1. Quick voltage divider refresher. Before we can cross the bridge, we need to remember how a simple voltage divider works. Picture two resistors in series between a positive supply and ground. The same current flows through both resistors. The total voltage from top to bottom is your supply voltage. The key idea is that the resistor with more ohms takes a larger share of the voltage. The voltage at the middle node depends on the fraction of the total resistance that sits below or above that node. In plain language, if both resistors are equal, the middle point sits at about half the supply voltage. If the bottom resistor is much larger than the top one, the middle point moves closer to ground. If the top resistor is much larger than the bottom one, the middle point moves closer to the positive supply. We used this idea earlier in the series to create reference voltages and to show how sensors can be dropped into a simple divider. A bridge circuit takes this one step further. Instead of watching the middle of one divider with respect to the ground, we compare the middle of two dividers to each other. Building a bridge from two dividers. Now imagine two voltage dividers connected across the same supply. Each divider has a top resistor and a bottom resistor. The midpoint of the left divider is one tap, and the midpoint of the right divider is another. If we connect a meter between those two midpoints, that meter is now looking at the difference between the two divider voltages. If the ratios of top to bottom resistance are the same on both sides, each divider produces the same midpoint voltage. The meter sees no difference, so the bridge output is essentially zero. We say the bridge is balanced. Here is the cool part. That balanced condition does not depend on the exact supply voltage. You can double the supply, cut it in half, or let a battery sag over time, and the bridge will still balance at the same resistor ratios. That makes bridge circuits very robust in the real world, where power supplies drift and batteries age. If we now change one of the four resistances, the ratios no longer match. One midpoint climbs or falls relative to the other, and the meter sees a positive or negative difference in voltage. The more the ratios differ, the larger the bridge output. So a bridge turns a difference in resistance ratios into a measurable voltage. That is exactly what we want for precise measurements. The Wheatstone Bridge, measuring an unknown resistance. The first famous application of bridge circuits was the Wheatstone Bridge, used to measure an unknown resistance by balancing it against known resistors. Picture four resistors wired in a diamond shape. The unknown resistor goes in one leg of the diamond. Two known resistors form the other two legs. A third resistor is adjustable. A sensitive null meter connects across the middle of the diamond. We energize the bridge with a direct current source, then slowly adjust the variable resistor until the meter reads 0. At that instant, the bridge is balanced, and the ratios of the two voltage dividers match. Once the bridge is balanced, we know that the ratio of the two resistors on one side equals the ratio of the two resistors on the other side. We already know 3 of them. That lets us solve for the unknown resistance using a simple ratio. Historically, this was a game changer. In the 1800s, accurate voltmeters and ammeters were rare and expensive. But a wire of known composition, length, and diameter was cheap. By stretching a careful length of wire and sliding a contact along it, experimenters could create a very accurate, adjustable resistor. Combined with a simple null meter that only had to distinguish 0 from not 0, the Wheatstone Bridge allowed precise resistance measurements with nothing more high-tech than a ruler, some wire, and a basic detector. A fun bit of trivia. The method was first described by Samuel Hunter Christie, but it was Sir Charles Wheatstone who popularized it and got his name attached. Telegraph engineers used Wheatstone bridges to hunt down faults in long cables by comparing resistance ratios and estimating the location of breaks or shorts along the line. Sensor bridges, turning physics into voltage. Once you realize a bridge is basically a ratio detector, it is natural to replace some of the fixed resistors with sensors, whose resistance changes with the physical world. Common examples include strain gauges that change resistance when stretched or compressed, thermistors whose resistance changes with temperature, light-dependent resistors that respond to brightness. In a typical sensor bridge, 2 opposite legs are sensors, and the other 2 are fixed resistors chosen to set the balanced condition at a normal operating point. When both sensors experience the same condition, the bridge stays balanced and the output is near 0. As soon as one sensor changes more than the other, the ratios shift, the bridge unbalances, and the output voltage swings positive or negative, depending on which side now has the larger resistance. The more the physical quantity changes, the larger the bridge output. A small change in resistance can produce a measurable voltage difference, which is exactly what we need for sensitive instrumentation. A common real-world example is a load cell under a tank or a platform. 4 strain gauges are glued to a metal beam and wired into a bridge. When the beam bends under weight, some gauges go up in resistance while others go down. The bridge output voltage becomes a very clean, ratiometric signal that tells your instrument how much force is on the cell, while canceling out many sources of error, such as temperature drift. In instrumentation, we almost always feed that tiny bridge output into an instrumentation amplifier, then into an analog-to-digital converter. But at the heart of it, the bridge is just comparing resistance ratios for us. A quick peek at power bridges. Not all bridges are about measurement. The same diamond shape shows up in power electronics as well. A bridge rectifier is 4 diodes in a diamond connected to an alternating current source. No matter which way the current from the transformer is swinging, the bridge routes it so the load always sees current in the same direction. That is how many power supplies turn alternating current from the wall into direct current for electronics. In motor control and inverters, we take the idea further with transistor bridges, often called H-bridges, to flip polarity and build alternating waveforms from a direct current source. You will see this a lot when we get deeper into drives and motor control later in the channel. Wrap up, and what is next? Bridge circuits are just 2 voltage dividers being compared. When the resistor ratios match, the bridge is balanced and the output is near 0. When one resistor or sensor changes, the ratios shift and the bridge output becomes a sensitive indicator of that change. Wheatstone bridges let us measure unknown resistances by balancing against known ones. Sensor bridges turn strain, temperature, light, and other physical quantities into useful voltage signals. The same diamond pattern also shows up in power rectifiers and H-bridge motor drives. A big thank you to Tony Coupalt and the open source community for the MODL project and the bridge circuits model that this episode is based on. If this helped bridge a gap in your understanding, please like, subscribe, and share this video with a classmate or coworker. This has been episode 78 in the Electrical Fundamentals playlist on the Crash Course Instrumentation channel. In the next episode, we will keep building on these measurement concepts and move one step closer to real-world industrial instrumentation.